So ladies and gentlemen, we are back here in Singtel. With me today is a Singtel Group CFO, Mr. Arthur Lang.
Hi everyone.
And he's here to deliver a good news for many Singtel shareholders. Arthur, it's a long time we haven't seen each other.
Yes,
well,
Lou,
very happy
nice
to see you again.
Yeah, you're looking well.
Thank you.
Good, good.
I'm looking well. You know why?
Why?
Singtel share going up.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I last time I thought I sold everything. Then I found that my wife, secret stash, she kept 9 lots unsold.
Wow, steady lah.
Yeah.
Okay,
bought
good.
at cheap price. Now
Yes.
$5 plus.
Yes,
must
correct,
thank you all.
correct. No, the whole team did a really good job.
5 times 9. Wow, 40 几千, 40 over 1,000.
Wow, not bad. Very
Thanks
good,
to
very
you,
good.
thanks to Moon, thanks to the whole team.
No, the whole team. Very good effort.
Yeah.
Very great team effort. We're all very happy with the result. Yes.
All-time high 527.
Okay.
Can you all make it $6?
But that's the big challenge now. So now 一山比一山高, right?
Yeah.
So one mountain higher than another mountain. So we'll try our best.
So the
We'll try
most
our best.
important question,
Yes.
okay? Any hidden news you are going to release?
As I said, this kind of thing, when it's actually for real and when we are ready to announce, we will of course announce, right? Any material information, we will always announce. But always can assure you, as we have said very consistently, we will work hard to ensure we can grow dividends on a sustainable basis. That one very important, right? So the key is the business needs to improve. Our capital recycling needs to continue to do well. So on both sides do well, then can grow dividends sustainably.
Very good. I take that as more good news possibly
Hopefully,
coming.
hopefully,
okay.
yes.
Very good. Okay.
Yeah.
But we're here today for a very special announcement. So the news has broke out. This Singtel special discounted shares. Seem like quite a mouthful.
Yes,
what is it about?
So, okay, this Singtel special discounted shares, right, is or SDS for short, was something that was set up by the government many years ago during the IPO of Singtel. I didn't even know about this. Well, I remember vaguely.
I was just...
Yes, I was Zopeng. I was
Yeah.
wearing
Well,
green. I was in
same
army.
age, same age.
Yeah,
we were in
okay,
the army
correct. Yes,
together,
I was
yeah.
in army,
Yeah.
waiting to ROD, and
Yeah.
then this news of the IPO came out. So this SDS is basically a scheme, right, which encouraged share ownership of Singapore by Singaporeans. And it was really part of the government's efforts to really enable the Singaporeans to really have a stake in the economic success of the country, right? So that's why when Singtel IPO, they said, maybe we can give some of these shares to all, or offer it to all Singaporeans to participate in the IPO. And there was a discount given in terms of price for Singaporeans to buy, and Singaporeans were able to tap on their CPF savings to buy these shares. So it's to actually increase and encourage share ownership in Singapore so that every Singaporean has a stake in the success, long-term success of Singapore. And as a result of that, because at that time, owning shares and all that is very new. I remember when I looked at it also, I said, hey, how do I own shares and things like that? What is a share, right? So there was a lot of education. And as a result also, I think the scheme basically gave the trustee responsibility to CPF. So basically, Singaporeans can own this SDS, but the CPF will represent Singaporeans in terms as a trustee, in terms of the share ownership, because they use the CPF savings. So that's really what the SDS is. In 1993, we offered it to Singaporeans. In 1996, there was another share issuance, and then SDSs were also given. That's why we thought it was a time to it is timely to do this now, right? To really effectively kind of do away with this legacy SDS arrangement. So now basically is to transfer the shares to CDP, right? So basically allowing Singaporeans or these SDS holders to have direct ownership of the shares, because I think the general feel is that today, right, because the original intent of SDS has been met. Today, Singaporeans, a lot of us own shares, and we own it through CDP accounts. We trade a lot in all the trading platforms, buy US shares, buy Hong Kong shares, buy Singapore shares. So the understanding of share ownership and investment is much higher today than almost 30 years ago. So that's why we thought it was timely. It was a legacy arrangement which we can take away. And we sought the relevant, we had discussions with CPF and various agencies. And I think that we are getting the support from the government to do this now, because it is very timely.
So the question really is, why need to do this? He said, leave it there, don't need to do anything.
Okay, very good
complicated.
question. Very
Yeah.
complicated.
Yeah.
But you will hear that the process is actually very simple now.
Okay.
So I think to your question, why do it?
Yeah,
right?
why do it? Yeah.
I think a few reasons, right? One is, first and foremost, this exercise will help to increase the awareness that many of us adult Singaporeans, especially if we are above 50 years old, actually have these shares.
Yeah, a lot of people don't
so
know.
Correct. Yeah,
No,
so
forgot.
exactly forgot.
Yeah,
I can tell you, I forgot about it until I became CFO of Singtel, right? Okay. In 2021, when I became CFO, so I asked my investor relations team, hey, show me all the shareholders of Singtel. Then, they show everything. Then there's this one line, CPF trustee. So I asked, what is that, right? And it is actually behind that, there are over 600,000 investors, Singaporeans, right? SDS holders who held these shares through the SDS. That's what I just described. And I said, wow. And I compared to other stocks. Yes, some of the shares in Singapore, like the banks, some of them market cap bigger than us, but we are actually not that small. We are $85 billion today, market cap. But we are the most widely held investor base in Singapore.
Wow.
And by far. That means we are like the second highest is less than half of our number of retail investors.
Wow.
Right. And that means that, Singtel it create meaningful impact for a lot of Singapore. But I think what is very important is, number one, making sure that that Singaporeans SDS holders actually know about these shares. So by doing this, it creates awareness.
Okay.
And because you can transfer the shares to CDP, it is in your name. If you don't have a CDP account, CDP will create a designated account, which is also in your name. So you know the number of shares. So I think that's the first, awareness.
Okay, very important.
Number two is, because you know you have these shares, you now have the direct flexibility and the ability to make a choice what you want to do with the shares, right? If you decide, I want to keep because I still like to own Singtel shares, I still like to collect dividends, you do nothing, basically. The shares will automatically get transferred in November to CDP, right? And if you have a CDP account, it's under your name. But if you don't have CDP account, they will open up this designated account for you. It's still in your name. And then 1-2 years later, 5 years later, you collect a lot of dividend, you want to sell, you can sell and you got cash out. Or today, if you decide, wow, I didn't know I have this, something that's worth over $7,000 close to $8,000, then what you can do is, if you need the cash, you can sell. You can sell and you can take the cash directly back to yourself. Because under the old regime, if you sell, first of all, there are a lot of restrictions. If you are below 55, if you decide to sell, it has to stay in your CPF account. You cannot take the money out. Now we do away with all the conditions.
How do you do that? Straight from what you described is this. So even though I'm below 55 years old,
yes,
I sell the share. By right, it's supposed to go to ordinary account and get stuck there. I sell.
Yes.
You take it out.
You can take it out.
In cash.
Go into your bank account.
Before 55 years old.
Before 55 with no conditions.
No condition.
No conditions. But you don't even need to sell today. If you say, I don't want to sell today, but 2 years' time because my son or daughter going to poly, going to university, need the cash at that time. So you can keep it. You just do nothing. It transfers into your CDP account. 2 years later, when you need the cash, whatever the price is, you sell at that time, and you can also take the cash out.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. What if I'm after 55, but my ordinary account? What the CPF board like to is quickly take money and put your FRS, your special your retirement
account. Yes.
Yeah. But what if I sell already? They go and take money and put it in my retirement account. Is it?
No, basically for SDS today, whether you sell today or it gets transferred and then you sell after that, the money goes to your bank account.
Oh.
Yes. So no conditions, basically.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, that's very flexible, man.
It's very flexible, and I really want to thank the CPF board and the other agencies for really their cooperation.
Thank you, CPF board.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So it is really this is what we're doing, because we feel that, number one, we want to let Singaporeans know that many of us actually own shares in Singtel, this company called Singtel. Number two, we want to also give and empower the Singaporeans, to these SDS holders, to say you can do something about your shares. You can continue to keep it, no doubt, and keep monitoring Singtel, or you can decide to sell, right? But in any case, you have a stake in this very special company called Singtel, right? And next time AGM now, any corporate action, we will go directly to you so that you have a say in how, as a shareholder of Singtel, you also know what is going on at Singtel because the ownership is direct. It is no longer through CPF, which functions as the trustee. Because now we think, okay, with social media, with your blog, everyone is more familiar with investment. So this is one step forward for our SDS holders and all Singaporeans. Now, the final thing, the third reason why we are doing it, is it gives Singtel flexibility to, what we say, do different corporate actions to further create value for our shareholders.
What is that?
This is part of our ST28 plan.
Okay.
You see, today, under the legacy arrangement in SDS, it is very difficult or almost impossible for us to do things like bonus share issue, dividend in specie, and things like that. Whereas in this new, as we transfer the shares and this new setup, right, after we do this, we have more flexibility to do that, which means that we are able to create more value for our shareholders in many different ways.
Okay, so what you're saying is that if this group of shares are in your CPF,
yes,
you cannot give our shareholder more
current
good
arrangement.
Things. Yeah.
Okay. It's
or more complicated.
We got more choices to give good things.
Okay.
More ways to give good things.
In the past, you can't do it because it's a system issue.
It's a system issue because, again, the role of CPF is to really take care of our retirement needs, healthcare needs, housing needs. It is not for It is not to help Singaporeans invest their money.
That's true.
Now, last time in 1993, because again share ownership was not well understood, so CPF played that role as trustee. But fast forward to today, 30 plus years later, I think all of us know something like
super savvy.
We are super savvy. Get a lot of guidance from you. Yeah. So now CPF has decided they actually should focus on what they are really good at, right? Which is retirement. This role of trustee is no longer applicable, and now we're moving it under CDP.
Wonderful.
Right? And shareholders have a direct ownership of Singtel, and in future all the communications and all that will be directly to the shareholders.
So Arthur, the question really right now is, how do we know how much shares we have? Because most of us cannot remember, and you got bonus shares, all these very luana, so we all don't know.
You're absolutely right. So the first step is when you get these letters, it will actually say the number of SDS shares that you have under this arrangement. Secondly, if you want, you can go to Singpost offices or online, sds.singtel.com, and it will show you the number of shares that you own. It will be linked. You have to activate it through your SingPass, so that it's very specific to the number of shares that you personally have. Now, these shares actually vary, right? The number of shares. We calculated based on the statistics that the median number of shares is 1,360.
1,360. On average, roughly.
So, average, right? Okay. Roughly. And that, based on today's price, is roughly $6,000 to $7,000.
Today's point of time recording, now I see $5.
$5. But share price move around.
So,
but it's roughly $6,000-$7,000. Yeah. Kind of worth of
$6,000-$7,000.
Yes.
Wow.
6-7.
That's the average. But some will get less. Maybe.
If the number of shares, okay, so that's the median number. So not everybody is 1,360. Some of the SDS holders, maybe last time in 1993, they participated in the IPO. And then in 1996, the second offering, they did not participate, so your number is less. Or maybe over time, you sold some of the SDS shares. Or if you're an NS man, you actually get a bit more, right? So it really depends. Or if you, maybe at the IPO, and the 1996 offering, you subscribe to the maximum number, that number will all vary.
Okay.
Because, for example, if you go to the maximum, right, for 1993 and 96, I think that number of shares is about 1,610 shares. So based on today's price, it's probably more like $7,000-$8,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I would just say $6,000-$7,000 is average based on today's share price.
Based on today's share price and based on the median number of shares.
I see.
Right.
Okay.
But most important, I encourage everybody, go check the number of SDS shares you have. But I would say whatever amount you invested in 1993 and 96, based on today's value and based on the dividends that you have received throughout this 30 plus year period, the return is about 6 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
6 times, 6 bagger.
6 bagger. Yes,
Wow.
yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
Yes. And I should also mention that, and these folks, they own the shares in Singtel. In terms of the number of shares that relates to this group of SDS holders, it is about slightly more than 4% of our total shares outstanding. So it is a small number, very manageable, but it is a very important group because it's about 600 over 1,000 people.
So Arthur,
Yes.
thanks for delivering this great news to Singtel special discounted shareholders. And more importantly, now they realize that they can have about $7,000 of value realization.
Yes.
Now, the question really now is, what should they do about it? Right? Should they keep? Should they sell? If they sell, what should they do? If they keep, what should they do?
Right.
So maybe that will be the next part of the video that we will release for tomorrow. Okay? But
Yes.
thanks, and we will look forward to the next video. And Arthur will tell you what should you do once you know that you are a holder of this special SDS shares.